Hey there, it's Bootzone here. This is a GTECH AirRam 22 volt vacuum cleaner. I'll turn it on. Here's some noise. So the battery's in the back, and if I get it out, you can see that this battery was full because it had 4 bars when I turned it on. Got another one I'm going to test. Again, 4 bars. Well, I've got this one, and I think it's a dud. That one's not even coming on anymore. Okay. Sometimes they'll go straight to red. One of these bars becomes red if they're not working or if they're discharged. So this is my dud. They're my good ones. This one is one that I was given by a mate, and I've dismantled it. Got some screws, and inside 650 cells, I think. Lithium ion cells, and a little controller board. And I was kind of cautious about this because I didn't want to plug it in, because that's what the connector looked like, and I thought, I'm not going to charge that. That has seen a bit of moisture, but the wires themselves should be okay, or not the wires, but the batteries and all the rest of it should be okay. So can we get this out? It's probably got hot glue or something hold it in, although it might not. There could be a voltage on this as well. I haven't done anything with it other than open it. And the plan is, maybe if this one's dead, well, maybe the board is okay on it. I don't know. Maybe the batteries are dead. So see if we can get it out. Pulling often works. Yeah, it's just as simple as that. Pull that one out. Put those stickers back in there. And then let's get into this one. It's a Torx screw with a very small head, 10 or 8. So I don't know what I'm going here. I'm just kind of pottering at it to see if I can get anything working on it. 22 volts, so 6 cells. I think that gives a higher voltage, like 26 volts or something, or the opposite. Maybe it's 22 volts maximum. What does it say on here? 22.2, 11.1, 3.6 volts. I think they're supposed to be, those cells, but I don't know much about them. Fast forward, we get these screws out. So I've taken the screws out, and it occurred to me that the screws that I've taken out are black, and the ones that were on the other battery pack were silver. So there's probably differences here. So let's just compare them and see what we can see. The one on the top is the one that was wet. The one on the bottom is the one that's not working. Both made in China, both 22.2, both 66 ICR 19/66 rechargeable. Serial number, so these are 4514 and they're 4715. That could be a week and year code for the years, 5 years, 6 years. It's 2021 now, so 7 years old and 6 years old. I'd say that's what's going on there. Yeah, other than that I can't guess, but 4715 is probably a year code, 4514, and that fits. So this one's a year older than this one. They're still quite old. Let's see what the other ones are. 4514. I could be making this up. Well, I am making it up. 1115. So they're all about the same age. I got them all used. Different people have given them to me. This should just snap open carefully, which I like. It's something that's quite handy. Very clean board. So these boards are quite interesting because they take this USB connection, and it's a special USB cable that you can't get, and you used to have to get it from GTECH, and they don't know anything about it when I contacted them. But I saw a video by a guy called TechMoan on the internet, and he described how this thing works, and I'll put a link to that below and hopefully up on top as well. The boards look the same. This is version 2.0. I can see just above my thumb. This board here doesn't seem to say 6 cell 1540, 6 cell 1439. It's the same kind of thing. It's got the similar connector. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the batteries out of here on the basis that they may or may not work. They could be completely discharged as well, but I know that charging this through this board didn't do anything. Just do a switcheroo and attempt to charge them up. That's what I'm going to try. So there's another screw in here. So it might have reached like a critically low voltage or something like that. did I say? I want to use this board with the other one. Oh, that looks like there's a bit of something going on there, a bit of colour. That trace is broken. That's what's wrong with that one. And that's tiny. Okay, so from here, the gold trace above my finger, it's all wrinkly and fallen off all the way over to this connector, number 2 or number 3 connector, I think. Yeah, why that would have happened, I don't know. Right. The rest of it looks okay, but they're so small that you're doomed. I would almost be inclined to just plug this one in and try it if it didn't look so corroded. Like, that's bad. That's too bad, really. Okay, so we've got a fault on this board. I don't know. The batteries in this are probably... Well, the batteries in this one are probably fine. Well, then what I can do is I can open up a third one, I guess. Let's see what I see. Let's just put that over there. And we'll get into a third one. And so this third one here looks a lot healthier. Got a different colour of screws again. They're kind of like a blackened silver or something. They're not black and they're not silver. Now, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop this board out. Hopefully without knackering it. Okay, I know those batteries are good, so I'll set them aside. Then this is the one that I can test both of them using that board, I guess. It's not going to tell me much, but it'll tell me my 650 cell, 18650 cells are okay. Get that out of there. Get this off here. I've got the multimeter out beside me, but I haven't done anything with it. So I kind of think, I don't know what it's going to tell me. Put it in the correct way around. Now, I don't think I need to put the cover back on to play with this. So let's put a screw in to hold the board on. I think I can just do it flying by wire on the unit. Yeah, let's try it. Okay. So this is a battery pack that has somehow blown. It was working. Just slide that in the back there. It's running about a bit loose. Let's turn it on. Okay, well that's obviously working. So those batteries are good. So then let's put this control unit across to the last one as well. Get that thing out again. This is encouraging because it's obviously just a controller. I don't know if I could get a board like that without, because normally these things will be sold as a battery unit. You'll never get someone repairing at this level, but you might. So I'll check online for spares because it would be good to have these things going. Or else I can just know that the cells are worth keeping an eye on. Right, that goes there. That screw shouldn't be over there, it should be over here. This one, I shouldn't have taken it out. Let's put it back in. Bit of rust on the bottom of those cells, but that won't be the end. It won't be an issue. Put those rubbers, those foam pads back in there just because. And this board, I don't know if it's broken. And if it's just a trace on the other board, it might be possible to mend it with a bit of solder and a bit of thin wire. Because it's just, I'll show it to you again in a second. I'll show it to you now actually while I'm here. Let's talking about it. It's just a trace that is for a signal of some kind. It's not... The main live and neutral, I think, are over... Are they? Main positive and negative are on the other side. So the positive and negative are these two, whichever way around they are, on the right as I look at them here. So it's the third trace in on the other side, and that's... Now, I took that one out. Put this one in. Now this one was given to me and it may well be discharged, but even if it's discharged it should still come up for a second and be flash red, or it could be completely discharged or dead or whatever, given that it may have been swimming. So put that in there, click this in here again, and let's see, what do you think? Nothing, so what could be wrong with that? It's all connected correctly. It's a good board, so the batteries might be dead, so I'll try charging this for a while and then come back to it. So I've got the batteries from this board charging now, and it hasn't blown up any smoke on that board yet. What I'm going to do with this is, I think I'll just give it a scrub with a toothbrush and some water and see if I can clean it up a bit, and if I can, if it comes up clean and I get that corrosion off it, I'll try it on the good batteries, see if it works, because it doesn't appear to be dead, but if I put a current across it, it might blow traces. That one looks a bit loose there. Yeah, I'll try giving it a clean. So you should never put electronics underwater, hey? This is just some kind of nylon or some kind of plastic brush. Coming up good though. What's more important is not about putting it underwater, it's about drying it off correctly afterwards. What happens is people spill drinks into their computers and turn them on, and it's not the drink itself. Well, the drink may be if it's a salty drink or an isotonic drink or any kind of sugary drink. You might get current flow across the contacts, a bit of green, something's come off there in the water. You might get current flow across, but it's more likely that there's dust inside, and the water, you know, the dust has all sorts of little things going on in it. I need to be aggressive enough because I need to clean it, but equally I'm conscious that yeah, you see that same trace, the third one in is coming up with a copper color on it. It's not broken, but it might be inclined to break. And this big one here is either positive or negative, this big trace here. And presumably the opposite on the other side is positive or negative. Don't know. But yeah, clean water, you know, it should be distilled water really. And an ultrasonic cleaner will do the same thing and just blow the dirt out of it, but it'll also, the ultrasonic will eventually blow the parts off the board. You know, there's a bit of corrosion around that area, that's gone. Try a bit more in here. That's your charger there, so it's negative probably on this side and positive, yeah, charge positive and charge negative. Alright, but they're not connected to anything there. So maybe one is positive and one is negative, and those pins go through. So that's coming down as... I don't know. A bit more down the back here. So I'll put this somewhere warm and dry to dry for a couple of days, or overnight, maybe it'll be enough. And we'll see if it works. I'm not holding out great hope. Like, it might work, but it might die because of this corrosion here. That's the USB going to those 4 there and those 2 anchors there. So I might have snots on the inside of that I'm not going to get off unless I desolder it, and I'm not going to do that, so that might kill it as well. But there, 3 minutes, and that's it, as clean as it's going to get, and I'll dry it off and put it somewhere dry, and we'll come back to this when the other battery's taken a charge and this is dried off. So I've got the battery in that was charging. I only gave it about half an hour. It's got the good board, but the battery pack that was rusty. So let's turn it on and see. Anything? Nothing. I could give the cells a bit longer maybe on the charge. So I've taken it apart again, and just to see what we're getting here, getting half a volt, and I've checked all of them, we're getting half a volt on each of those cells, whereas on a good one we're getting 4.1, that kind of number. And that's the same on both of those batteries that I was playing with there with the good cells. So I think it's charged it up by half a volt. It may have been lower, so I'll put it on to charge a bit longer and see if it comes up a bit more. And maybe, you know, it won't run on 3 volts. It probably has a minimum cutoff thing, protection circuit built in, that maybe needs 20 volts or something. If it's 4 times 6, then you're at 24 straight away. 26, 27. Maybe, so it only draws down to 22. So I need to get these charged up, and maybe they'll go again. The fact that they're all even at 0.5-ish tells me that they might come back to life. So here's the one that's been charging all night. We were getting half a volt before. So let's put that on. Let's see what's coming out and see. It wasn't on all night, but it was on a lot of the night. 3.5. 3.5, so they're charging evenly. I'm not going to test them all. Let's try it in the machine and see what it comes up with. And this is my good board, whatever that means. Let's get the screw back in. We'll stick it into the machine, and that'll tell me that this battery pack is okay. If the battery pack's okay, then it's just the circuit board that has rust on it. And if it's the rusty one, I've left the rusty circuit board drying overnight, and I'm going to see if that can be salvaged. And by salvaged I mean I'm going to plug it in and see if it works. So let's tidy up a bit. Get the vacuum cleaner up again. What do you think? Will it work? So it worked, but it's only got 2 bars of battery, 3.5 volts instead of 4. That makes sense. So I can stick that on to charge a bit more. But meanwhile, yeah, so I'll stick that on to charge a bit more. That's cool. Meanwhile, I've got a battery pack, good batteries, but a dud board. So I know those batteries are charged. This is the board that had rust on it. I'm just going to take a punt. Probably silly, but I don't see it damaging the batteries. And clip this back in. Let's put a screw in it. Now what I could do is disconnect the USB connector. Could do that, but everything looks okay on it. So we know that the batteries in this should be okay. Let's turn it on and see if we can see these. Okay, so that's the board that we thought was rusty, and gave it a clean with some water. Let it dry out again, so that's good. So then what I'll do is I'll swap, this is my good battery pack, I'll swap this board back with the other board and charge it up through this unit to see if anything happens, because there could be a fault there. And then the last one I have to play with is the board with the trace issue. So what I might do, you can see if we can focus that this trace is broken. There it is hanging off. So what I might do is just, it seems to only be one trace, so I'll try and solder a little bit of wire from there to here, just across the top, a piece of bell wire, because it's only a signal cable, and that might fix it. If you've watched any of these videos before, you'll know my soldering skills are just atrocious, but I can't say I don't try. So the iron is hot. I've got a bit of wire that I believe should be okay. Get a bit of tin on the end of it. I'm hoping that'll just be enough. It's quite hot, that iron. I've cut it a bit long. I can feel it pulling the trace off. I've cut it a bit long because I thought that would be a clever thing to do, but now I'm not so sure. No, it's just pulled straight off again. Right, I'm gonna make it a bit shorter. Probably what we would call the correct length. Gotta say, automatic cable strippers is a really handy thing to have. Dip that in the solder flux. There we go, a bit of tin on the end of it. It's bloody hot. So, it's just the trace is just tiny. I don't want to interrupt the other traces either. Let's have a look at the back of the board. Because there is another option. It's a ground wire by the looks of things. One option is to bring it around the back and over to here, and in fact I think that's a better idea. So I need a bigger piece of wire now. Running from one side to the other. So the one that says ground, I'm going to bring it around the side. Might be a mistake. I think that's got it. So I started this one here, JIG. So I'm going to cut that somewhere about there. Then strip it, then flux it. Flux and solder. Stinks, the solder. It seems okay. Now, will that fit back in the battery? That's the next question. And if it does, have I cooked the board? No, it might get in the way there. So I might crush that wire a little bit. But that's going to be okay with me for now, because I can test it. And I could always do this again. I don't want to, probably won't. Lost my screwdriver. But this will allow us to test if the machine's going to work from this ground signal. Okay, vacuum cleaner. If this works, it'll be excellent. So let's get this battery in the correct way up. Could be other faults on this, we still don't know. And what a world! A tiny piece of wire. Now, if I thought that would have worked, I might have done a neater job, but for now I'm going to leave it as it is. I'll put that battery back together. I've got two batteries that didn't work that do now. So one of them had the rust on the board, and I thought I'd clean it up first because I might have blown it if I'd just run it as it was. So I took it apart and cleaned it, let it dry, put it back together. It worked. On this one, blown ground trace from a battery that I knew was working. And now we've got a set of working batteries again, which is excellent. Questions or comments, leave them below. Thanks for watching. See you later.